What is going on, guys? Gavin here, and today I want to go over my Machina deck for Master Duel. And the inspiration behind playing this deck was, as soon as I saw the ban list for this game and I saw skill drain was at 3, I was like, I need to abuse this. So instead of jumping on the Eldritch bandwagon like everyone else, I was like, let's be different. Let's play another deck that can potentially abuse skill drain. So this is the deck that I came up with because Machinas are some pretty big bodies, like Fortress and Citadel are huge, and they can actually function quite well under skill drain. So yeah, I pretty much just been playing this deck exclusively. I took it to Platinum. Haven't had quite as much time to play as I would have liked because I've been working full time now and I moved out. As you can see, the background is different, but regardless of all that, let's go ahead and get into the deck profile. To start, we play triple copies of Maxi. The card is legal in this format, so why not play it? It gives us the opportunity to draw into multiple traps like Torrential Tribute plus Solemn Strike, or Solemn Strike plus Skill Drain. Very good combo. Basically saying Solemn Strike allows any other card to resolve, and that's very oppressive. Just because Torrential Tribute will can absolutely blow out people. It's the same thing with Skill Drain. So Maxi is very good. Also can give us some gas to summon Fortress multiple times in a turn if we draw into Citadels, redeployments, and stuff like that. So really solid. Then we play triple copies of Gear Frame. Gear Frame is like our normal summon in the deck, and it's just really simple but quite effective. It bays hand traps, so if your opponent Ash Blossoms this, basically you don't have to deal with Ash on your overdrive or Ash on your urgent schedule, which is very good. Then we play one copy of Resavenger. So this card is like your fodder for discarding, but also can allow you to push for a lot of damage throughout the course of the game, because this deck actually kind of revolves around the battle phase a lot more than other decks, especially when skill drain is up. Basically, it becomes a battle oriented game at that point, and this deck will absolutely excel in that kind of game state because Resavenger and just the sheer size of Machina Fortress and Citadel will make it very difficult for your opponent to actually beat over your monsters. So this card is really great for that. Also, it adds itself back to your hand if one of your Machina monsters destroys one of your opponent's monsters. So like, it's just free recursion, and it's really great. Then we play one copy of Unclospar. Unclospar is really solid just because when you add it from your deck to your hand or your graveyard to your hand, you can special summon it and then Foolish Burial a Machina monster. So it actually synergizes quite well with the deck and is free fodder for rank 4s. Then we play one copy of Fortress. Fortress is insane. You don't really need to play two, in my opinion. I haven't crafted the second one, but I mean, maybe someday I will. But I think one is fine, honestly. I don't really summon this guy like too many times in a turn, like usually like twice, like 3 times sometimes, but it honestly just becomes like more costly in this deck than it's really worth. So it's just really great for beating over stuff, and its destruction effect can basically allow you to clear a card on your opponent's board, which very good. Then we play one copy of Bullet Train. Bullet Train is absolutely essential for the grind game. So before I was playing this deck without this card, but I really think it's necessary in here to kind of allow your resources to flow back into your hand at the end of your turn, just so that you can summon Fortress on your next turn more easily, and it can also give you discard fodder for something like a Dino Mischief or a redeployment on your next turn. So this card is fantastic, and also allows for easier access to your rank 10s, which can help you close out games sooner than you otherwise would normally be able to do. Then we play 2 copies of Citadel. I think 2 is really good because it's a great target to bring out off of overdrive, and having the second one oftentimes can allow you to make rank 10s easier, and sometimes like one of them will get banished and you haven't like gotten that overdrive into your graveyard yet. So instead of being like up a creek without a paddle and having your only Citadel banished until you get to overdrive, like you still have another one in your deck that you can actually get access to through other means. So very solid. Then we play triple extra. We really don't use our extra deck that much in this deck. The extra deck isn't really important. I was playing this deck before I have like a fully fleshed out extra deck, and honestly it wasn't really performing too much differently than it is now. But yeah, this card is absolutely insane because it just says +1. Then we have Redeployment, which is also an insane card. Just getting 2 Machina cards from deck to hand is very solid. Then we play 2 copies of Called by the Grave because an Ash Blossom on like a redeployment or an urgent schedule, it can be problematic. So why not just play 2 Called by the Grave? This card is also insanely good against Eldritch. Actually, Eldritch is just, it's a pretty good matchup for this deck, I want to say, just because we play Called by the Grave, Dynamistress, and Ice Dragon's Prison, all which absolutely demolish Eldritch. If you just banish all their Golden Lords, you win the game. So yeah, the card is really, really good. And then 2 Urgent Schedule, triple Urgent Schedule. The card is absolutely bonkers, being able to bring out the Bullet Train, and like the level 4 body doesn't matter as much. It's mainly like the higher level body that you care about. Just being able to get access to one of those is just, it's so strong. Just because like this will get you your card advantage. This one gets you the Fortress body in the graveyard, which is then you can special summon quite easily. And then Citadel is just huge and a level 10. So very, very solid card in Urgent Schedule. Then we play Triple Torrential. This deck actually floats a lot off of getting its own monsters destroyed. Like if any of your Earth machines get destroyed, boom, you bring out Citadel. Very, very good. And otherwise this card is just really good against combo decks that, you know, like to summon a lot. And once you actually like resolve this card, it can be very difficult for your opponent to OTK you, and then boom, you're in a grind game, and this deck will absolutely excel in that kind of state. Then 2 Dynamistress for this card's just really solid generic trap. When I first started out, since it's a rare, I was like, hey, throw it in this deck because it cost me almost nothing to make. And honestly, it performed so well that I decided to keep it even once I got some better cards. So yeah, it's just really great. 2 copies of Trap Trick, because we want to have access to all our traps, and Trap Trick is basically 2 extra copies of any trap in the deck. Then we play triple copies of Overdrive. Overdrive is absolutely insane. Can summon out Citadel or summon out Fortress, and it's just really, really solid. Its graveyard effect is also good just because it allows you to kind of maintain your card advantage while recycling your resources. And yeah, it's just a really, really solid card. Everything that a modern trap card should be. 2 copies of Ice Dragon's Prison. Once again, Eldritch, very popular in this format, so having ways to counter Eldritch is essential. Triple copies of Strike for allowing your other trap cards to resolve, because if you're going second, it's an absolute godsend to see Solemn Strike in your hand, because your opponent is definitely going to have a couple negates on the field, so having a Strike to combat that is really good. Like when your opponent activates or has a Herald of Ultimateness on the field, Solemn Strike is your best friend. Then we play triple copies of Skill Drain just because, like I said before, a lot of decks don't function under Skill Drain. Like once you're going first, you have this card set up, it can be very problematic for your opponent to deal with. So of course we're going to abuse it. And then for the extra deck, we're playing 2 copies of Gigant X, which for some reason is a UR. I guess it's the boss, one of the boss monsters for the Giria archetype, but man, this thing felt bad to craft as a UR, especially because it's so cheap in real life, and it's just like a generic machine searcher. So whatever. If I had 3 of them, I'd be playing it, but like I said, the extra deck ain't that important, so we're gonna live with 2 for now. Then we're playing triple copies of Iron Wolf. It's a rare, so I just threw it in here. It allows you to attack directly with one of your machine monsters, so that's really solid. And being able to get a search when this card gets destroyed is also something that can come up as well. 2 copies of the Dreadnought, because it can theoretically allow you to make some rank 10s, and yeah, it's just kind of filler in here. Then for the rank 10s, we're playing 1 copy of Gustav, 1 copy of Dora, and then 2 copies of Dora and 1 copy of Lieb. Lieb is something that I rarely go into. Honestly, all the rank 10s are, I go into Gustav Max the most, just because the burn damage comes up more than like wanting an unaffected monster or like an OTK monster. So yeah, Gustav getting that burn in often does come in clutch, and I'd probably be playing more of it if I had more of it. Then we play 1 copy of Zeus and triple copies of Anger Knuckle. Zeus is in here just because it's just a really solid card that synergizes decently well with the Dreadnought, because you can go Dreadnought and then make a rank 10 on top of that, and then make Rail Cannon, and then make Zeus for like a fat Zeus. So that's pretty interesting. It like hasn't come up yet though, so yeah, it's what it is. What it is. Then we play triple copies of the Anger Knuckle just to link off. Like if we go urgent schedule, and we like went bullet train plus like gear frame, it's just an easy way to get the bullet train off the field, and it can give you some recurability with looping this card with bullet train like over and over again. So there's that. But yeah, that's really it for the deck profile, guys. Let's go ahead and get into some gameplay. Okay, so for this next game, we are going to be playing against Leerless Tri-Brigade, which is a deck that was recently hit on the TCG ban list, and I'm so happy about it because I absolutely do not like playing against this deck. So anyways, we are going to be going second, and our hand is actually probably as perfect as it can be. So yeah, it's just going to go ahead and go full combo here. It's going to start off with the Bird Call, and then proceed to vomit a bunch of Leerless bird monsters. Honestly, I don't even know what these things are. I don't know if they're like anime girls pretending to be birds or if they are actual birds, but either way, they're disgusting to me, and I hope I never have to play them again or play against them again. So anyways, he's going to go ahead and add another Bird Call to hand for a follow-up on his next turn, then go into Recital Starling effect, add Barrel Canary, go into the second Recital Starling, and then add DD Crow to his hand. And here he's going to go ahead and go into the Utopic to get that monster negate onto the field. And that's the reason why I was, having Skill Drain is so good, because this card doesn't negate Skill Drain, and it's really solid. So he's going to go ahead and go into Farragut, go into DD Crow, activate the Farragut effect, do the little exchange here. Going to go ahead and spec out the Barrel Canary, spec out the Cobalt Sparrow, go into a 3 material Ensemble Blue. I'm going to go ahead and use the Graveyard effect to add another material to the Ensemble Blue, and then special summon out the Barrier Statue during the end phase. So if I was playing a normal deck here, I'd be pretty screwed here, just because he doesn't monster effect negate, a bunch of bounces, and I can't even special summon unless I'm special summoning wind monsters. But none of that is actually going to matter. So we're going to go ahead and start off with the Extrav, which is going to get hit with an Ash, unfortunately, but at least that means that our redeployment isn't going to be hit with any hand traps. So we are going to go ahead and set 4 and normal summon the Gear Frame. We don't actually use the Gear Frame effect here, because if we did, Utopic Draco Future would just negate it and steal it, and then our Overdrive would be absolutely dead. So we're just going to go ahead and beat over this Barrier Statue and take it slow here. He is going to, during the end phase, summon out another Leerless monster, and that was the reason why I set 4 here instead of setting just 3, because this thing only brings out monsters up to the level of unused spell and trap zone. So I believe Apex Avian is level 7, so if he did have it, I just wanted to avoid him being able to summon it here. So that's why I set the redeployment. So he's going to go ahead and summon out the Cobalt, add a Celestial to hand, and then yeah, we're just going to go into his turn. And pretty much on his first, on his normal summon, I just want to Shotgun Torrential, just because I can chain Skill Drain immediately afterwards, and then make sure his entire board gets cleared. We do want to use the Overdrive here, just so that we can actually make use of it, because otherwise we wouldn't have a target for the Overdrive to do anything with. So yeah, he's going to chain Max C, which is just going to be an Upstart Goblin in this case, which perfectly fine with me. So we're just going to pop his entire board, which felt amazing. So he's going to get some advantage back into his hand here, but it's all good, because he shouldn't be able to OTK us as long as we have Skill Drain on the field. So he is going to get the Karas, or he's going to get a kit off of the Nerval, and then special summon out Karas. Really not doing too much here, because Skill Drain is actually going to screw him over pretty hard here. I guess he just wasn't paying attention, and just decided to Karas for 4 under Skill Drain. I don't really know what to say aside from read cards next time. But yeah, we are going to go ahead and draw Urgent Schedule for turn, and here, instead of discarding it off of redeployment, I just was like, we're under Skill Drain, so why not just go for Urgent Schedule and start getting the Bullet Train add backs to our hand. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to get the Bullet Train into the graveyard and special summon our Link monster. Unfortunately, we don't have enough to beat over the Karas, but we are just going to start slowly adding resources to our hand from our graveyard, which is going to eventually win us the game here. So it's a very simplified game state. He's going to go ahead and summon Kit, and then summon out Barrel. He doesn't. I think he probably burned through all of his like bigger like extra deck monsters that could kind of help him out here. But we're just going to go ahead and proceed to summon out the Bullet Train, which also works under skill drain because Anger Knuckle will send itself as cost, so that actually it can go ahead and resolve, which is really nice. So Bullet Train is going to give us another add back here. I'm going to add back the gear frame so that we can special summon the fortress during our turn. So we are going to go ahead and start drawing Torrential for turn, which is actually really good. So we're going to special summon out the fortress. Going to go ahead and use Overdrive effect, shuffle back 3 and draw 1, which is just very good for, you know, see how we're like slowly gaining resources over our opponent. So that's going to win us the game 100%. So we're going to go ahead and add a Citadel to our hand. I think I should have added something else. I think I did this game a couple days ago, so yeah, I think maybe there was something else I should have added here. But this the Citadel is probably just going to sit in my hand here, which kind of sucks, but oh well, it's not the end of the world. So we're going to go ahead and set the Torrential and set the Overdrive, and I'm feeling pretty good about this one. On summon, we're just going to go ahead and Torrential and then Overdrive. Overdrive is going to bring out, I believe, Re-Savager, which is probably what we should have grabbed off of the redeployment. But we're going to go ahead and float back into Citadel, which is really, really strong here because it's just going to be a big body that he's not going to be able to get over. So it's just going to go ahead and get Kit, send, you know, nothing too crazy here. And then we're just going to go ahead and summon out our 2 big boss monsters and start smacking our opponent in the face. We did draw Max C, so we're going to be in a really, really solid position here. And he just scoops it up because he realizes that it's hopeless for him under skill drain. Our Machina monsters are too fat for him to deal with. So that is going to be the end of the video, guys. If you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. If you did like the video, make sure that you hit the like button and potentially even the subscribe button. But with that, I am going to leave you with a peace out, have a nice day, and goodbye.